Hey guys, welcome to Tabletop Urbans. This is the second episode of the narrative campaign. If you have not seen the first episode, I recommend you to see that first. You can find it in the recommended videos. Today, Space Marines face off against Necrons. Unfortunately, Andrea could not be present during the recording, so I rolled the dice for both of us, but we played at a distance following his instructions. Anyway, I'm Simone and I'll play Ultramarines.
Hi, I'm Andrea, and today I'll be guiding the Necrons from home. Before we started, if you are subscribed to the channel, welcome back! If you are not subscribed yet and want to help us, join our growing community now by clicking on the subscribe button. And don't forget to activate the bell so you don't miss the next battle reports. Thank you guys!
The Ultramarines intercepted the Inquisitor's last message just before his plane crashed. With the team in the area, the Sergeant Mobius decided to intervene and attempt to retrieve the Inquisitor. The unconscious man was found and recovered by the Marines near an ancient ruined temple. Unfortunately for them, however, the Necrons woke up and ambushed the unsuspecting Space Marines, who now find themselves surrounded. Today's mission is Ambush. The two armies will have to deploy within these two areas. In this game, the Space Marines will have to make their way to the opposite edge of the table, trying to protect the Inquisitor and escape from the Necrons' ambush. The Inquisitor will be represented by a marker, and being unconscious, he will be transported by one of the Space Marines. Each Ultramarine operative that exits from the opposite edge of the table will earn 2 victory points.
Each model killed by the Necrons will be worth 2 victory points, and in this mission, being the attacker, I will have the initiative in the first turn. There will also be 3 secondary objectives each that will award points. The player with the most victory points is the winner. The game will last 4 turns. Both armies start with 2 command points, earning 1 point at the start of each round.
Arriving on the planet Hesperia after intercepting the communication of the Inquisitor Kane, the kill team of Space Marines managed to reach the place where the Inquisitor was hiding. He was found unconscious in the snow due to severe injuries caused by the plane crash, right at the entrance of an ancient pagan temple in ruins. Just before they could leave the site, the ground began to shake and a series of strange sounds filled the air. Sergeant Mobius has given the order to retreat quickly. The only way out is beyond the temple, and their mission is to save the Inquisitor at any cost. The kill team is composed of 5 river operatives. The river sergeant is armed with special issue bolt pistol, bolt carbine, and combat knife. The other 4 are river warrior operatives and are armed with special issue bolt pistols, bolt carbines, and fists. The spec op chosen for this kill team, the first mission they will have to follow during the campaign, is Honor Bound. The first operation of which is to complete 5 games where they scored victory points for TAC op, Execution, Headhunter, or Rout. The kill teams start the campaign with 4 acquisition points to use in upgrades. I spent 1 point on equipment drop, assigning a smoke grenade to a river and a grav chute to another. Then I spent another acquisition point on asset acquired and chose surveillance system to expand my base of operation. This will allow me to carry out 2 recon options in the scouting phase. Let's go save this Inquisitor.
Several sensors belonging to the Necrons were activated when the Space Marines, with all their delicacy, rushed into the temple in search of the Inquisitor. This caused the awakening process of my Necrons to begin, and a kill team was sent to eliminate the threat. They cannot escape. Make them suffer. I believe it is time to remind the inferior races where they belong. My kill team, called Items, acronym for Immortals That End Mortals, and suggested by our wonderful community, consists of 1 Necron Warrior Fire team and an Immortal Fire team. The Necron Warrior Fire team includes 5 Necron Warrior operatives armed with Ghost Player and Bayonet. The Immortal Fire team includes 3 Immortal Warrior operatives and an Immortal Leader operative, all equipped with a bayonet and a Ghost Blaster. The spec op chosen for this kill team is Purge Order, the first operation of which is to complete 5 games where I scored victory points from the TAC Ops, Deadly Marksman, Rob and Ransack, and or Execution. With 4 acquisition points at disposal, I spent 1 point on Asset Acquired and chose Tactical Uplink, giving me the possibility to use 1 tactical ploy for free once per turning point. Then I spent 2 more points on Equipment Drop, giving all my Immortals a Starfire Core and in addition the Hyperface Blade to my leader, for a total of 10 equipment points.
My kill team is deployed at the temple entrance and is ready to run as fast as possible to safety. The leader is at the center of the team and is the one who carries on his shoulders the Inquisitor, who will be represented by the flag marker. The Inquisitor will be treated as if he were a carried target, so it can be dropped off and taken by operatives using an action point. Beyond the temple, the Necrons are waiting for my team, well positioned on the sides of the table ready to shoot my Marines. My tactic will be to try to isolate one side of the enemy deployment zone and concentrate on the less defended one. All rivers have the engage order. I could have chosen a more stealth approach, but I need to reduce enemy fire as much as possible by taking out the Necrons one by one. Wish me luck!
The mission required me to deploy on both sides of the field as evenly as possible, so I decided to place 3 warriors and Immortal Leader on one side and 3 Immortals and 2 warriors on the other. The Marines are only 5. If I manage to push them all towards an edge and surround them, I could eliminate them more easily. The center of the field is pretty open, so I doubt Simone will pass in that direction, and if he goes where I think, he will soon find himself in a very uncomfortable position. Clearly, I had to deploy all my operatives with the engage order. I absolutely have to shoot as much as possible before Simone reaches me in close combat. Let's see if he falls into my trap.
It's time to do the scouting phase. Andrea and I both chose Recon. Being the defender, I take the action first. Drake moves 3 inches forward to explore the surroundings. Thanks to the requisition point spent early in the game, I can make a second recon move and Winston advances to the other side. Having his grav shoot, Finn is also able to move in this phase a maximum of 4 inches and takes advantage of this to position himself on the left side of the temple.
Khepri moves using the initial dash to approach the barrier in the direction of the river. Having the initiative, I begin the strategy phase. I spend 1 command point on the strategic ploy Relentless Onslaught, which allows me to reroll a shooting attack dice if the target is within 6 inches of range.
I use the strategic ploy Bolter Discipline for 1 command point that allows my marines to fire twice during their activation if no combat action has been taken. Also in this phase I reveal the TACOP Route, which allows me to gain 1 victory point after neutralizing an enemy operative within 6 inches of his deployment zone. Given the battlefield and my mission, this TACOP was perfect for me.
Khepri, not being close enough to the barrier, is forced to move in order to shoot the marine in front of him. He then takes aim and fires 4 shots at 3 on the river in full view. Rerolling the 2 thanks to the strategic ploy. Nope, only 3 normal hits.
With -1 penetration, I can only roll 2 dice at 3+. Both saved! Drake starts the game with 4 fewer wounds. Finn moves to a spot with better vision on the target, then takes aim and fires at the leader of the Necrons with his special issue bolt pistol. 4 shots on 3+. Okay, I really hope this is not indicative of how my game will continue.
The pistol has -1 penetration, so saving with 2 dice. Double 6. I guess he's safe.
Thanks to the strategic ploy used earlier, Finn can shoot again, and this time, let's hope it goes better. Definitely better! 1 critical and 3 normal hits.
Again, 2 dice to defend. And I save just 1. I use the free command point to reroll the 2. And that's another fail. 10 wounds to my leader, who's left with just 1, and he's now injured. Clearly, the next operative to be activated is Yaret, my leader, who positions himself behind the tree with movement and dash.
Winston sees the Necron's leader retreat and takes the opportunity to target the warrior in front of him. 4 shots at 3+ with the pistol. Only 2 hit.
Manit defends himself with 2 dice due to the -1 penetration, and only manages to save 1 hit, taking 3 wounds that brings him to 6.
Eager to jump into the fray, Winston charges the Necron. Then, once he gets to close range, begins to hit him with a series of punches. 4 attacks at 3+, 2 critical hits and 1 normal hit.
Manit responds with 3 dice at 3, hitting him with 1 critical and 2 normals.
Winston hits with the first punch.
Manit also hits with the crit.
With the second crit, the Marines destroy the robot by dismembering it into several pieces. First that enemy of the game.
First Necron eliminated. It doesn't matter, I still have 8.
Here are your battle scars. Thanks to this skill, I reveal the TACOP Rob and Ransack, a victory point earned for killing an enemy within 1 inch. Now, to earn the second TACOP victory point, Winston must survive the entire game. In addition, he also earns the victory point for the TACOP Route, revealed earlier, reaching 2 victory points.
Then when, furious at the loss of his partner, moves forward and shoots the wounded Reaver. Seeing him in full view, he makes 4 shots at 3. Hitting with 1 critical and 1 normal shot. But totally forgetting about the strategic ploy.
3 dice at 3+ to defend. 2 saved! I use a command point to reroll 1. And obviously nothing. 3 wounds. This means that Winston is left with 5 wounds. Atreus is 1 step away from an immortal, so he takes aim and opens fire on him. 4 hits at 3. Really? Only 1? How sad! The Necron automatically saves because of the cover. Filled with shame for his poor performance, Atreus moves towards the center of the battlefield and prepares to take the most important action of the first round. The Marine throws a smoke grenade near the crater, obscuring the view of all the Necrons in the opposite side of the table. This move will allow me to take out half of Andreas' firepower in the first turn and will keep my models in cover.
The next agent to activate is Setesh, who moves in the direction of the rivers, and then he also fires on the wounded Space Marine. 4 shots at 3. 1 critical hit and 2 normal. Rerolling thanks to Relentless Onslaught. Still miss.
I need 3+ with 3 dice. 2 saved! Wow, he's still alive! He's left with only 1 wound but is still standing. Drake feels compelled to return the favor to the immortal in front of him and shoots twice. Let's start with the first. 4 shots at 3+. 3 hit.
-1 penetration for the pistol, so only 2 defense dice. Kefri is in cover, so he saves the dice automatically. Let's see the second. Saved. Just 3 wounds to him.
Second pistol shot, again at 3+. Ah, apparently there is a circus in town.
Need just a 3 to save that crit. You can do it. Or not. 3 wounds left for Kefri.
With this last available action, Drake moves forward and positions himself to be hidden by the smoke of the grenade.
Azar has no vision of the rivers, so he can't help but move and dash forward to better position himself.
My leader, Mobius, attempts to finish the job started by his companions and fires with his carbine on the wounded immortal. 4 shots at 2 this time. Yeah, finally! 2 critical hits and 2 normal hits.
Unfortunately, even saving all 3 defense dice, Kefri has too few wounds left and collapses malfunctioning. Kefri was the operative I had selected for the TAC Op Deadly Marksman, so losing him means that I will not be able to score points from this TAC Op. But that's okay. 2 victory points are nothing in this mission.
After eliminating the enemy, Mobius loads the Inquisitor on his shoulders and moves towards the tree.
Just like Azar, Anupet doesn't have anyone inside, and so he can't help but move forward.
Having run out of models to activate, I start with the Overwatch. Finn leans out of his position behind the tree and shoots at the Necron leader. 4 shots on 4+. Again, a huge fail. Just 1 hit, but the Necron automatically saves for the cover.
Sekhmet is also forced to just move, and positions himself in cover, waiting for the smoke blanket to finish.
Mobius fires Overwatch at the warrior in front of him. He hits on 3+. 3 hit, not bad.
3 defense dice at 4 to save. Only 1. Setesh is left with 3 wounds and is injured. The last model to activate is Ishtar, who like all the others, moves forward taking the position of the immortal that just collapsed. At the end of the first round, I find myself with several fewer Necrons and only a couple of wounded Space Marines. Unfortunately, I lost an immortal for nothing, because I wanted to use the tactical ploy reanimation protocols on the leader, but the leader remained alive with only 1 wound. In the next few turns, I have to try to start eliminating some Space Marines, otherwise I am afraid that Simone can pass the edge of the field with several rivers. In any case, everything is going according to plan. Next round.
Since more Necrons have died than Marines, I reveal the TAC Op execution at the end of the turn. I need another round with more enemy deaths than mine, and I will earn 1 victory point. This round went well. The Marines started moving towards the edge of the table and I managed to take out Andreas' shooter. The smoke grenade did its job and protected my kill team's flank. Without that cover I would surely have lost some models. The next round I have to use my numerical superiority on the left flank and eliminate the little resistance left in front of me, before the other Necrons join the fight.
In the radio operative's phase, my Necrons recover 2 wounds each, so Yaret and Setesh both recover 2 wounds, returning to 3 and 5 wounds respectively.
Initiative roll. Yes, I really needed it!
Unfortunately, just a 1. Simone first.
In the strategy phase, I use again the strategic ploy Bolter Discipline to allow the Marines to fire twice.
I spend a total of 2 command points on the strategic ploys Relentless Onslaught and Implacable March. This gives me the possibility to perform an Implacable March with my operatives, adding 2 inches of movement, and the ability to reroll a dice in shooting attacks that targets enemies within 6 inches of the shooter.
Atreus opens the dance by firing on the warrior in front of him. He hits a 3+. 1 critical hit and 1 normal hit.
-1 penetration and cover. Then one automatically saves a dice and needs a 6 to save the crit as well. There he is!
Ignoring his poor result, Atreus charges the leader of the Necrons, engaging with the nearby warrior as well. He then throws a series of punches at the leader. 4 attacks at 3+. 3 hits! 2 of which are critical. Someone is about to be blown away.
Unfortunately, with 3 wounds left, there is little my leader can do. So Yared collapses to the ground, but his body starts to light up a brighter orange when I use the tactical ploy reanimation protocols thanks to the free command point. Instead of permanently removing the leader, I leave a token in his place. In the next radio operative phase, I roll a dice. On a 3+, Yared comes back to life with the 3 wounds. Daenuan tries in every possible way to finish the river in front of him, then shoots him 4 shots at 3. 1 critical and 2 normal hits. Rerolling 1 thanks to the strategic ploy. Missed again.
Winston has to save himself. 3 defense dice at 3+. No! I need at least a 6 to save him. I use the tactical ploy Transhuman Physiology for 1 command point that allows me to change a normal save dice into a critical one. That way, he's safe.
Furious for not being able to take out the Marine, Daenuan charges the river in close combat to support his friend.
Drake holds his carbine and targets the most distant immortal before he can stop their escape, hitting a 3+. 2 normal hits.
Azar automatically saves the dice and needs a 3+. With 2 dice, it should be easy. Yep, he's fine.
Drake tries again. He has to prove that his aim isn't that bad. Better! 2 normal hits and 1 critical hit.
Once again, Azar automatically saves the dice, but this time he needs at least a 6 to save the crit. The 6 is there, but 1 hit passes, resulting in 3 wounds to him.
With the last action at his disposal, the Marine moves into cover behind the tree.
Having no longer the smoke bomb blocking his vision, Ishtar moves and targets the river that just fired, making 4 attacks at 3. Hitting with a critical and 3 normal hit. Great shot!
Saving a 3+ with 2 dice plus 1 automatically saved for the cover. 1 more saved, just what I needed. 7 wounds suffered, so he's left with only 1 wound. These Marines aren't that tough. Winston witnesses the scene of his partner being wounded and decides to avenge him by firing on the warrior behind the tombstone. Double 6 and double 1, alright.
Ishtar is in cover, so he automatically saves the dice. Now I need the 4+ and another 6 for the crit. Unlucky. Just 1 crit saved with 2 normal defense dice.
The Marine fires at the warrior again at 4+, trying to eliminate him permanently. The injury sustained definitely destabilized him, so he only hits once. But the Necron is in cover, so he automatically saves.
5 wounds left for Ishtar.
With his last action, Winston decides to charge the warrior to prevent the other Necrons from shooting him.
Anupet points the injured Marine behind the tree and charges him. Arrived in close combat, he throws 3 bayonets at 3. Hitting him with a nice crit, Anupet plunges his bayonet into the body of the Marine.
Unfortunately, with the Necron having the initiative, there is nothing Drake can do to stay alive. The first Marine leaves the battlefield, but not by the escape route.
And thanks to this kill, I reveal the Attack, Hope, Rob and Ransack, earning 1 victory point. Then, thanks to the mission, I gain another 2 victory points for eliminating a defending enemy, thus achieving 3 victory points total. Good job, Anupet!
Sergeant Mobius decides to join the fight, and with the first action, he charges the warrior on the left. During the fight, the Sergeant puts the Inquisitor on the ground and then attacks with his combat knife. 5 attacks on 2. All 5 hit! Mobius is on fire!
Setash responds with 3 attacks on 3, hitting with a critical and a normal attack.
With the first attack, the Sergeant deals damage.
The warrior deals damage with the crit.
With the second slash, Mobius takes out the Necron by cutting him in half.
Your work here is done, Setash. You can go.
9 wounds left for him, and 1 victory point for me thanks to the Tacope route.
Once again, Azar has no targets inside, and is forced to reposition with movement and dash without using the implacable march.
Finn moves forward and in cover of the barrier, trying not to get left behind. Then takes aim and opens fire with the carbine on the warrior who had wounded Drake earlier. 4 shots at 3. 2 critical hits and 1 normal hit, great!
Ishtar is in cover, so he automatically saves 1 dice. Now, he needs to save 2 more so as not to die. Pity. Don't worry, you did a great job. You will be avenged.
After taking out the Necron, Finn dashes with the third action and positions himself alongside Winston to give him cover from enemy charges.
Sekhmet moves forward and positions himself behind the tree. Then targets the Marine with the grappling hook and shoots him 4 shots at 3. Only 1 misses, but I can reroll it thanks to the strategic ploy Relentless Onslaught. All hit!
1 dice is automatically saved due to the cover, but with -1 penetration, I only have 1 dice to roll. Saved! Finn took a hard hit but is still standing. 4 wounds left for him. In the second round, I managed to eliminate more models than Andrea, so I earned the first victory point of the TAC Op Execution. My Marines are fighting their way to the escape route, but they have already had their first loss and many of them are badly injured. I have to be able to position them in the best way so as to minimize the damage that the Necrons can do to me. But the most important thing is that Mobius manages to bring the Inquisitor to safety. Their mission takes priority over their life.
This turn was better than the first one. Much better. Yes, I'm left with only 4 models and Yaret who has to reanimate next round. But Simon is worse off than me. He only has more or less 2 full life operatives, and he still has a long way to go before he can cross the border. For the moment, I'm down by a victory point, but I am confident that, in the next rounds, I will be able to overtake Simone without problems. Either way, a lot will depend on what my leader does next turn. In the ready operative phase, I have to roll a dice for each reanimation token in the game. With 3+, the operative comes back to life with the 3 wounds. The only token I have at the moment is that of the leader. Let's see if he comes back to life. Yes! The 3 wounds? 3 wounds! That's awesome! Welcome back, Yaret. Then, thanks to the Necron's Living Metal ability, both Yaret and Azar recovered 2 wounds each, going to 5 and 9 respectively.
Rolling for initiative.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh yes, I'm first. In the strategy phase, I use again the strategic ploy Relentless Onslaught for 1 command point.
I use again the strategic ploy Bolter Discipline for 1 command point, hoping my Marines' aiming improved between rounds.
The first agent to activate is Sekhmet, who targets the only river who is not in close combat, hoping to eliminate him. 4 shots at 3. Rerolling the miss thanks to Relentless Onslaught. That's definitely better.
With only 4 wounds left, I have no choice of saving him. It's useless to roll the dice, but... Are you serious? This roll makes his death even more painful for me.
And after earning me another 2 victory points, Sekhmet moves forward in search of more Marines to remove.
Atreus continues the fight and throws a series of punches at the warrior next to him, 4 attacks at 3+. Everyone hit!
Demon responds with 3 attacks on 3. Not good. I need to hit at least 2, so I use the free command point to reroll a dice. Yes! 2 hit!
Atreus does damage with the first attack.
The warrior parries with 1 of his attacks.
The Marine also deals damage with the second attack.
With the last available attack, Denwen parries the Marine's last attack, taking 6 total wounds but staying alive.
To get as close to the edge of the battlefield as possible, Atreus disengages from combat and moves alongside the rocks.
This thing is a bit risky, but I have to try. Denwen fights with the injured Marine next to him and unleashes 3 attacks at 4. Whew! So close! 1 attack succeeded. 2 more victory points for me.
With Andrea having the initiative, there's nothing I can do to defend him, so let's say goodbye to Winston and my second TAC Op victory point. Mobius, furious at seeing his companion fall, violently attacks the Necron. 5 attacks at 2. 2 critical hits and 3 normal hits. As I said, he's pretty furious. Without even Andrea rolling the dice, the Necron collapses to the ground with the circuits cut.
I'm proud of you, Sekhmet. You did good.
Then, seeing the leader of the Necrons revive, the Sergeant grabs his pistol and opens fire on him. 4 shots at 2. Whole hit, including a critical one.
Ouch! I don't know how much your armor can hold, Yareth. 2 defense dice due to the -1 penetration. Yep. For the second time, the Immortal collapses to the ground. I use again the tactical ploy reanimation protocols on him for 1 command point.
Satisfied with the 2 enemies killed, Mobius moves forward, seeing the escape route 1 step away from him.
Anupet, angry for losing his leader again, targets the enemy leader and fires 4 shots at 3. Hitting 3 crits! Wow, he's definitely angry.
Oh boy, 3 critical hits! With a normal one saved automatically thanks to cover, I need at least a 3+ with 2 dice. There it is! Mobius is still alive, with only 1 wound. Notice that he protected the Inquisitor with his body from the Necron's shots.
After shooting, Anupet goes into cover to avoid the overwatch.
Thanks to the overwatch, Atreus fires on the Immortal in front of him. I need a lot of 4+. Just a critical hit.
Thanks to the cover, I need to roll a 3+. Nope, critical damage incoming. 5 wounds left to Azar. After being wounded, Azar moves forward and targets the Marine holding the Inquisitor, firing 4 shots at 3. Hitting 3, including 1 critical.
Having only one wound, Mobius's body succumbs to his injuries and collapses to the ground, dropping the Inquisitor in front of him. You have done your duty as Sergeant, perhaps even more than I expected. I will remember it.
Another 2 victory points for me, which brings me to 9 victory points. Then I reveal the attack of Headhunter, which grants me an additional victory point for eliminating the opposing leader, thus reaching 10 victory points. This turn went extremely well too. One small problem though. To complete the mission Spec Ops bonus, I need to eliminate or injure all the opponent's model. The last remaining Space Marine is still at full life. I absolutely need to take the initiative next turn so that I can block him in combat and prevent him from escaping with the Inquisitor. Come on guys, we are so close to victory. You can do it!
I've lost a lot of Marines this round, including the Sergeant. It wasn't easy to see them fall one by one just inches from their escape route. However, Atreus is still alive and is able to take the Inquisitor off the ground and run off the battlefield. I absolutely need to win the initiative roll in the next round or it will be extremely difficult for me.
At the start of the turn, I roll a dice to see if my leader is able to come back to life. He must succeed because otherwise he would be considered dead as it is the last round. On a 3+, he comes back to life again. Yes! He's back, baby! Rolling the d3 wounds. Marvelous. He truly is immortal. Then both he and Azar recover 2 wounds, going to 5 and 7 remaining wounds respectively. Rolling for initiative.
Yes! 6! No! That's bad news!
In the strategy phase, I use once again the strategic ploy Relentless Onslaught for 1 common point. Without wasting any more time, in the firefight phase, Azar shoots the Reaver for shots at 3. Hitting only 2, rerolling 1 for the strategic ploy. That's better, 3 hits.
With penetration -1, I need to save both of the dice. Good job! With 4 wounds sustained, he has 8 left. That's enough.
Damn, I haven't done enough damage. With the remaining action, Azar charges the Marine.
So, my plan is very simple. Atreus has 3 actions at his disposal, and he must use one to pick up the Inquisitor from the ground and another to get out of the battlefield. This means I need to take out the Immortal with a single combat action. Since my Marine is likely to be injured, I use the tactical ploy and they shall know no fear, using the last command point available to me. This ploy will allow my Marine to ignore the movement reduction caused by the injury. Then Atreus begins punching the Necron, for attacks at 3+. 3 hit, okay!
Azar responds with 4 attacks on 3, hitting 1 critical and 2 normal attacks. Perfect!
With his first punch, Atreus deals damage.
I can't let Azar die, so I defend with the first attack.
Damn, that was bad. With the last attack, the Reaver deals damage again.
With the last 2 attacks remaining, I inflict 7 wounds on the Space Marine, both left with a wound and remaining in close combat. That's good.
With the last 2 actions available to him, Atreus could abandon the Inquisitor to his fate and fall back from combat by managing to escape the battlefield and save himself. But he's a Space Marine. He is faithful to his mission no matter what. Atreus will remain with the Inquisitor until the end.
After the fight, Yaret is activated and seeks revenge by going to kill the last Marine left in the match, thus ending the game. Wow, this match was more close than expected. Good job, Simone. However, I must say that the mission we played is slightly unbalanced for those who defend, especially if they have few operatives to play. Despite this, however, Simone managed to resist a lot of my shots, or rather, his own dice rolls. Anyway, at the end of the battle, having made at least 1 victory point with Attack, Op, Rob and Ransack, I can reduce by 1 the number of gains required to complete the Spec Op Purge order, and thanks to the mission Spec Ops bonus, I further reduce the number of gains required by the Spec Op to complete by 1. Then, having scored at least 3 points thanks to the Seek and Destroy Tac Ops, I earn 2 requisition points instead of 1. Now that the Necrons have awakened, they must think of what to do. In the next few days, we will post polls in the community section where you can choose the item's next moves. Be ready!
To be honest, I didn't expect this outcome of the game. I believed until the end that I could bring the Inquisitor to safety, but the dice wanted to punish me for who knows what passed wrong. Yet I rolled the dice for both myself and Andrea, so I punished myself doubly. This mission was certainly difficult to play with only 5 models available. I probably could have placed the Reavers better in some cases, but really a lot of it came down to the dice. With a little more luck, the Inquisitor would have been saved, but now he is unconscious and in the hands of the Necrons. Who knows what will become of him? At the end of the game, each operative who has been eliminated must take a casualty test to see if he's dead or have suffered battle scars. A d6 is rolled. On a 2+, the test passes. With 1, the operative suffers a battle scar, and with a second one, the operative is dead. Let's start directly with my leader Mobius. A 1! I should have expected it. Let's see what kind of battle scar he gets. Severe concussion. Until he recovers, Mobius will always suffer the ballistic skill penalty as if he were injured. It could have been worse. Let's continue with the other marines. Atreus with a 4 is perfectly fine. Finn with a 5 is safe. Drake instead? Oh no. Let's see what Battle-Scar receives. Damn! With this one, Drake died! But you fought really well and I can't afford to lose a valiant fighter like you, so I use a requisition point for Medivac. Drake suffers a cerebral affliction instead of dying, and he can't be deployed in the next game. But at least he's still alive. Now it's up to Winston. Perfect, he's safe too, and with him my marines are finished.
It's my Necron's turn. They too have to test to see if they are really dead or if they are just wounded. All of them have done well on the battlefield, except maybe my leader, who did nothing but die and resurrect all the time. Of all of them, maybe he should be the dead one, but instead he won't even have to take the test because he finished the game alive. No one knows how. Well, all of my operatives are alive and with no injuries. Great!
If you want to know what happens to the Inquisitor Kain, know that you will decide his fate through a vote in the community section. Furthermore, in the next few days, there will be several polls where you'll be able to vote. You will also have the option to decide the name of the Space Marines kill team. If you want to have the possibility to name it, write your suggestion in the comments. We will choose the names we like the most and we'll do a community poll so that you can choose between them the final name of the kill team. And with this we conclude. If you like our content and want to help us grow the channel, we have an account on the platform Buy Me a Coffee where you can support us with donations. Any help you can give us to improve the channel is welcome. We are counting on you. The link is in the description.
And if you have come this far, write the word Inquisitor in the comments to let us know. You are the best. And if you are not yet subscribed, subscribe to the channel. If you liked the video, leave a like and write us in the comments. We are always curious to know what you think.
That's it, guys!
See you next video!